So I am concentrating on faith this evening and how God is speaking to us concerning faith. And I just want to share with you. So let's go to Hebrews 11, and I'm just going to kind of skim through some of the scriptures. I don't want this to be too long, but I do want you to kind of just go with me on this because it is really, really ministering to me as I'm reading and I am studying it. So Hebrews 11 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." And so that's Hebrews 11:1. And I love this whole chapter because it talks about patriarchs of the faith who have been faithful and full of faith. And one of the definitions of faith is fidelity. Okay, they were faithful. They did not sway. They did not sway back and forth, but they believed God without wavering. And so, one thing I know about faith, and faith as a Christ-centered believer, is that faith is a lifestyle. Faith is a lifestyle. It shapes your whole life. Even in having faith in whatever or belief in whatever, you are shaped by that belief system. It shapes your life. You live by it. It affects how you talk to people, how you live life. Okay? And so the just, the righteous one, shall live by faith. And that is what I'm striving to be, is righteous. Okay? And how do I become righteous according to the Bible standard? Is by having faith in God. And like when it says in Romans 5, therefore being justified by faith. Justified is being made righteous by faith. I have peace with God, right? And so in Hebrews 11:3, it says that by faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of the things which are visible. Okay, so basically we believe that God spoke, and then when he spoke, it came into fruition. It came to life. Okay, so he speaks of things, and it says in Romans 4:17, it talks about how God speaks of things as though they already exist. Okay, like in the natural we don't see them, but God speaks like they already exist, because that is our God, and we are to live God-like, God-centered lives. Okay, so when we speak of things, we're not walking and speaking of things that are here, that are seen all the time. Okay, we're not doing that. We are speaking of things sometimes that are invisible, right? Sometimes that cannot be seen with the naked eye, but they are somewhere in faith, right? So Abraham is who they call the father of the faith. Why do they call Abraham the father of the faith? That is because Abraham believed God so much to the point that God said, "Abraham, you are righteous." It was accounted unto him as righteousness. His faith was so strong that he was called righteous. That's some kind of faith. And so Abraham is the father of the faith because he teaches us how to believe God, how to walk by faith. And so in Romans 4:17, let's go there. In Romans 4:17, it actually talks about how, and I know y'all hear my Bible, but Romans 4:17 talks about how Abraham believed God. Now, I wanted to go down. I want to talk about what was said to Abraham. Abraham was told when he was old, okay? He was like 100 years old. Abraham was told, hey, you're going to be the father of many nations. Look up in the sky. Look at the stars. You see how many stars there are? So shall your descendants be. This is what God is telling Abraham. He's walking on the sand. Look at the sands of the seashore. And so shall your descendants be, Abraham. And Abraham is walking through the sand, and he has no children. And he's walking through the sand, and his wife is barren, and he's old, and Sarah's womb is dead. And do you know what he did? Did he say, oh, I don't know, God. I don't know if you can do that. You know I'm 100. And you know Sarah can't have no kids. No. It says in the Bible, it says that he didn't even consider how old he was. He didn't consider his body. He didn't consider the deadness of Sarah's womb. All he considered was that, you know what? God, if you said it, then I know it's true. That's what he said. And he started rejoicing. That's what it says in Romans 4. It says he started rejoicing because he said he is able to perform it. He just considered that God was able to perform it. It must be true. That's what he said. It must be true. If you said it, it must be true. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. Isn't that powerful? That's how we have to believe God. That's how we have to believe God. We walk by faith, not by sight. We are faith walkers. What do we do when the things around us are contrary to what God has said to us? We are yet going to believe God. We are yet going to be walking by faith. That's what we're doing. We're not going to be looking at what we see. We're going to walk by faith. Like, God, if you said it, we're going to be like our father Abraham. We're going to say, God, if you said it, it must be true. So I'm just going to rejoice in you, and I'm going to believe you. I love it when the word says that Sarah received strength to conceive by faith. That's all. That's all. Whatever was happening in the spirit realm, which was her faith was happening in the spirit realm. I believe God. I believe God. Boom. It came in to the natural, and she received strength in the natural to conceive, and she bore a son. How about that?